It's Jason Widget. We're going to look at the Chino Kata. When we do this set of DVDs or for the Sanshin, what we want is to get down the feelings. Each level that we do represents an element. What we want to focus on isn't so much the technique itself, but the feeling that we want to have associated with each technique. So as we go through like the earth feeling, the water feeling, the fire feeling, I'm going to show you just one example of how we do these techniques. And again, it's just basic, it's one example. There's many ways that we can change these up. We can interchange them, we can do them with the other feelings of the other elements. But right now I'm just going to show the very basics of each one. We'll come back in just a second. First one we're going to look at is called Chino Kata, and it's an earth feeling form. I want to be grounded, rooted, kind of stand my ground. Most of the feeling that we want to have is associated with up and down. So I'm just going to start in Shizen. I'm going to fall back, and I'm going to do a strike up high. It looks like a block, but really becomes an attack. This hand just floats down. I'm going to step in, and with my hips and all my weight, I'm going to shoot up and then just fall up with an uppercut. So if Sensei Ryan, if he comes in with a punch or an attack, I may fall offline and soft block this, and then shoot straight in with an uppercut. One more time, he comes in, soft block, and then straight up and away. To make this horrible, I can add in waveforms. Thank you, Sensei Josh. I'm going to get my big attack right here now. He's going to throw a punch really fast, really hard, aggressive. So he's going to throw his haymaker. Go ahead. I'm going to come straight in with this soft block. I'm just going to waveform and hit him right in the throat and get him away from me. There's other things I can add in to make this worse. If he comes in with his punch, I can soft block this as I get offline. I can add in my BAR strike and then come in with the waveform to the throat or the jaw to finish him off. Thank you, Josh. We'll come back in just a second. We'll look at the Chino Kata, or the water feeling. Next one we look at, like I said, was the Chino Kata, or the water feeling form. I'm going to start in Shizen again, or just this natural posture. The reason I start in just this natural posture is because if I'm really getting attacked, or somebody's threatening me posturing up, I don't want to get into any kind of stance, because it tells them that I know something. So it's going to make them dig down deeper, fight dirty, do something different, so they get the better of me. So I just want to stand here natural, Shizen, like I don't know anything. So we're going to start all of our postures from just this stance. So for Chino Kata, I'm going to do almost the same thing. I'm going to fall fine backwards, do this soft block or this strike. But instead, this time, I'm going to come on with an Omote Shuto to target the neck or any kind of soft tissue. So against an attacker, it looks like this, Sensei Ryan. He comes in, soft block, and a shoot in with an Omote Shuto. There's other targets that we can hit, and I'll show you in just a second. So one more time. Comes in here. And now I don't want to be Frankenstein. I don't want to fall offline here and then step here. What I want to do is feel like water. I want to think about waves on a beach. Waves flow back and they crash on the beach. That's the feeling I want to have when I do this. So as I move back, as soon as my foot hits, boom, I want to be crashing back into with my own attack. So now we'll bring in the big attacker again, Josh, and then we'll see how it goes. So he comes in, I can get this out of the way, and then I just slam in with my own attack. It doesn't have to be to the neck though. I can slam in, I can hit his attacking arm twice. So he comes in, I can come in here, and I can chop down here, which opens up everything for another strike. Maybe I want to follow up with a third strike if I need to. Or I can do BAR again if he comes in. I fall off on here, and I can shoot him with a BAR strike. And then if I need to, come in with another Shuto strike. Thank you, Josh. You're welcome. So what's important is to get the feeling down of flowing back and crashing forward. Stay relaxed when you do this, because if you've seen any of the other videos we've done, we know that if I tense up when that big punch is coming, it's going to come right through, it's going to hit me. I don't want that. I got to stay relaxed. Flow. Think about water, how it flows. So we'll come back in a second. Okay, so the next one we're going to look at is Chino Kata, or the fire feeling form. With this one, again, I'm going to start out with Shizen. I'm going to fall back. Originally, when it was taught to me, we always had our foot back at 45 degrees when we take our angles. I want to get rid of that. I don't want to do that anymore. When I fall offline, I still want my feet to point forward, because I want my feet to point where I want my power to go. Then when I shoot back in, all my weight's going into the attack. It's all going into the direction I want it to go. So just a little side note for everyone. But yeah, back to Chino Kata. What I'm going to do is stand in Shizen. I fall offline. I do my soft blocker attack again. This time the hand comes up almost as if I'm doing Doko no Kama. I'm going to bring the hand around to the opposite of my face and shoot in with an Urashuto, or a knife hand edge with my palm down. So over time I stand here with Shizen, I fall off line, hand comes up, and I reach across and I basically strike the opposite side of the neck from what I struck with the Chino Kata. So against an attacker, sensei runs. As he comes in, again soft block here, I can push this out of the way and strike. I can make this worse by pulling his arm this way for a 2A action. I strike him the other way so everything's stretched out and it just makes it worse. So one more time he comes in, and we hit, come across, and then just crash in there. And then from there we can do any other thing that we need to do. Thank you, sir. So now I get my big attacker back in here again. He's going to throw his haymaker, try to take my head off. So I'm going to come in here. I can again attack this arm, reach across with my Urashuto. There you go. So one more time he comes in, I fall off line with that soft block. So I come in here and just hit. Making sure that my toes are always pointing towards where I want the power to go. I can add in waveforms for the extra power generation. So we'll just stop there, I won't do any more to this for you. But so you get the idea of how we want to feel fiery, aggressive. I want to just kind of be in there, be in the moment, and just go for it. We'll come back in a minute. We'll look at the next one we're going to look at is Fu no Kata, or the wind feeling form, which is a lot of circular type motions. I want to flow around attacks. I don't want to deal with it head on like we did with the fire feeling form. So it's going to start the same. I'm going to start in Shizen. I'm going to step back, and this time the hand's going to circle down for a downward strike. I'm then going to follow up with a straight thrust right into the throat or any kind of soft tissue. What I'm going to do is use a Boshiken or my thumb to actually do the attack. So if Sensei Ryan comes back in, I stand here, he throws his punch, I can smack it down. If he misses, that's totally fine because I can go right into arm bars or whatever from there. And then again move straight in with my home attacks. So one more time. I hit it out of the way, and then I just drive him back with my thumb. Again, if he punches, I can make him focus on this and totally miss. So now his attention is down here, and then I can go right into arm bars, do whatever I need to do. And then again, with everything opened up, if you'll just spin with me. Everything opened up right here. Now with my Boshiken, I can hit stomach 12, hit my large intestine 18. I can come straight up into the throat if I need to. Maybe down here, spleen 21. There's so many targets I can hit. Just because now I've got him trapped here, I can do pretty much whatever I want to. So thanks, sir. So we'll get our big attacker back in here again, Josh, if you don't mind. So he's going to throw his punch. I'm going to soft block it out of the way, and I'm just going to drive with my thumb right into the throat to push him out of the way. To be horrible, we'll actually slow it down now. But if you throw your foot, just go slow. As I draw this down, if I want to be horrible, I step on his foot. So now he can't move away from the pain, and it goes right into his body. If I push him hard enough, he's going to fall over, he's going to break his own ankle. I can also attack the stomach. So he comes in, I hit this out of the way, and I do that downward strike to the stomach to get him to lean over. Are you good? You hit this soft tissue down here in the stomach. You usually get him to lean over, then from there I can do downward BDR, whatever I need to do from there. So now we just want to practice. So one time you go faster again. Come on. Get this out of the way, and then drive straight in. Make sure I keep my toes pointed forward. Make sure I'm driving all my weight forward into my strike. Are you good? I'm good. Okay, thank you. We'll come back in a second, we'll look at the next one. The last one we're going to look at is called Chino Kata. It's the void feeling form, or void element. And what it kind of is kind of everything's created in the void, everything returns to the void. So everything that we do later on, we want to have that kind of void feeling. We don't want to be thinking about any particular element. We just want to let things happen as they do. But the kata we do for this, I'm going to, again, starting Shizen, I'm going to fall off line. I'm going to bring my leg up, almost like I'm doing Hicho, but I'm going to do like a Gedan Barrage for a low strike or low block. I'm going to follow up with a kick. As my body weight falls forward, I'm going to either multi-shuto or urashuto, I don't care which one, into the neck. So as you practice, I would practice both. You can fall off line to get out of the way, strike. As you fall forward, a multi-shuto or practice urashuto. Against an attacker, it would look like this. So he comes in, I can get out of the way, kick up into the stomach, and as I fall, I just crash in with that Omote Shuto to the neck. One time, I come in and I kick. I can kick. Now, when you kick, it can be the stomach, it can be up under the armpit, it can be in the face, it can be anywhere you want. And then as you fall, you just practice shoot those on either side. If he decides he wants to come in and he tries to do a real low roundhouse kick to the legs, that's kind of why we do this heat jump. Getting out of the way, then I can just fall in with a strike. I may not even get to do the low block, but then I would just fall in with a shuto and elbow. So you can kind of get the idea now of how things work. All I really care about is avoiding, get out of the way, make sure I'm in a safe area. Then I follow up with an attack of my own. Against a big guy. So he comes in with his punch. I'm going to get out of the way, kick, and then I'm just going to follow up with a shuto. I mean, the punches here, I can even kick low into the groin area. Follow up with a shuto, strike, elbow, whatever I need to follow up with. One more. So I can do it at the same time. Brush this out of the way as I kick, and then follow up with a strike. So when you practice these, practice in different scenarios, different speeds. Always start out slow, get the mechanics down, build the blueprints in your mind. As you get more comfortable with each feeling and each movement, start to take away the compliance. Speed things up, and then make sure that that's going to work for you. Thanks. We'll come back in a minute and we'll look at. We're going to move on to the next part of our DVD. We're going to look at the Kihon Hoppo, or the basic techniques, or the foundation of our whole entire system. There's about 8 to 10 techniques that really do. They are the foundation, the stepping stones for everything else that we do in Takayari Senjutsu. So what we want, and what I always stress to my students, my other instructors, is don't forget these. These are the basics, and all the advanced stuff flows off of these. So don't ever forget these. Always go back, work on these basics, because they really are the foundation. These are what's going to determine if you fail or succeed in this system. The very first thing we're going to do is going to be Ichimaji no Kata, which is just like Sui no Kata from the Sanshin. I'm going to start in Shizen. Attacker's going to come with a punch. I'll stand this way. I'm going to fall flying to 45. Now I want to make sure my feet are pointed forward again. This hand's going to come up. Then I'm going to shoot right back in with an Omote Shuto. I'm going to show you guys how to make it worse, how to make it nasty here in a minute. But real basic though, against an attacker. As he comes in with his punch, again, I'm going to fall off line and then shoot in with an Omote Shuto. So one more time. Again, I fall off line, and boom, I hit right here at 45. It's important that you move at a 45-degree angle, because when he punches, what it does is it allows me to be able to first attack this arm here. If he reaches out to try to punch me again and I'm at a good 45, he's not going to be able to hit me. So that's why we take 45-degree angles. If I'm not at 45 and he reaches out, he's going to hit me. Yeah, I don't want that. So make sure you guys, if you have to mark however you need to mark 45-degree angles, make sure you're at a good 45. Go fast. Good, right there. So again, if he puts a hand out, just misses, and that's exactly what I want. And then I shoot right in with my own counter. We'll get the big guy here now. We'll look at some ways to make it worse. So as he comes in with his punch, boom, soft block. Like I said, I'm going to Omote Shuto. Now I'm going to think about it being heavy. The heavy hand principle we use, 800 pounds. Boom, I can just chop that arm right down. Follow up with a strike anywhere into the neck that I need to. I can also attack, I'm not going to, but if you throw your punch, boom, I strike this out of the way. Maybe let that land right on the collarbone, just break that collarbone. If I just need to knock him out, if this guy's real big, real aggressive, he's trying to hurt me, I may need to just knock him out. So then I would just do one of our knockout made easy points. He comes in, I soft block this out of the way, I'm going to hit him right along the jaw, right along that jawline, right into large intestine 18, somewhere that's going to knock him out right away. Look at the head guard. I may need to soft block, and then instead of an Omote Shuto, I'll come in with a BAR strike. Keep it together. As he throws his punch, I make soft block and then just BAR strike. Maybe add in another and another, however many it's going to take to get this guy to stop attacking me.
One was good.
Okay, according to my attacker one will do it. And the next technique we're going to look at in our Kihon is the Mote Gyaku. So this is going to be an outward wrist twist or wrist lock. We're going to do it from a grab. So when you first learn it, we should do it from a grab. So he's going to grab. It's important for me to know, or for me to tell you guys though, this is not an attack. This is a grab. This headbutt that's coming next, or this kick, or this punch, that's the initial attack. That's really the attack. We're going to deal with that in a second. First, let me show you guys how to make this wrist lock work. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab right here where his hand's at. This one's going to shoot up underneath, and I'm just going to start to turn it. Now, what a lot of people do wrong is when they do this, they twist this way. His wrist is meant to do that. That doesn't do anything but buys him time to hit me. What I want to do is I want to turn it in this circle that the wrist is not meant to go into. And then they go right down. Another important thing is gaps. I don't want any gaps. Once I have a hold of this, I want to keep everything tight to my body. So as my body turns, my body does all the work. And I'm not out here fighting with arm strength. I want my whole body to make this work. Another thing that's going to help me out is I'm going to fall off line. So as I fall off line, if you watch, his head is no longer above his butt. So now he's starting to lose his balance already. So now when I grab, this hand helps. Everything's tight against my chest, my arms are locked, I twist my body, and he goes right down with no effort at all. So again, he's here. Realistically, he's going to grab me, he's going to punch me with the elbow. So what I'm going to do very first is hit him with that BAR strike. Then I'm going to step off line. He's going to come with me if he has a good hold, and then I'm just going to twist. When I twist, what I do is I turn the wrist like I said. You turn the wrist, the head starts to go away from the butt. This elbow is going to kick out this way towards the center of his body because all the joints, once you start manipulating one joint, every joint his body changes because he's trying to keep his balance. Once I know that he's losing his balance because I twisted this wrist, his elbow kicks out, the knees are starting to move, that arm's still in here for balance. I take his hand and I just bring it right to my foot. Right down, there you go. All these little things, be aware of all these little things when you guys are practicing. That's why it's important to go slow, because I want you to see what his body's doing. When you have a hold, I want you to feel what his body's doing. Feel how he's trying to compensate, how he's trying to keep his balance. So one more time he grabs. Again, I would BAR, maybe I'd hit him right in CV22 in the throat. Something to distract him, because I want him to go from attacker mindset to now he's on defensive mindset. Fall off line, make him lose his balance. If he comes at me really quick, I just throw an elbow in as I use this to grab. I just twist down here, bring it right to my foot. So now we'll bring in the big guy. You might just want to put your hair back on. I'll be nice-ish. So he's going to grab, and that's not it. Something's coming. He's going to headbutt me. He's going to punch me. So before I do anything with this, I bring the hand up to monitor. I don't grab, because as soon as I start grabbing and start fighting, he knows I'm doing something. He knows I'm resisting, I'm fighting back. He's going to attack. So all I do is I bring my hand up and I just lightly touch. Then I put that strike in. And then I bring him down really easy with almost no effort. So again, you got to take their mindset from attacker to back on defense. I can hook right in there. I put my strike in there. And then I go. And it's really easy once you get that distraction in there. Another easy distraction, if they're really super tall, he grabs hold. The first thing I may need to do, instead of BAR the head, maybe I can't reach the head. BAR that arm. Put that shock into the body. Maybe poke down in the stomach. I can throw a kick in to get that distraction. So any of these things will work to get that distraction in to make my technique work. Thank you, Josh. We'll come back in a second. We'll look at the next technique we're going to look at in our Kihon is Ur Gyaku. It's going to be just the opposite. So Sensei, if you come back here, he's going to do his grab again. So this time, instead of reaching across the pull to the outside, what I'm going to do is reach across with my right hand. I'm going to twist his arm the other way, basically to get it turned upside down and make him look at his own hand. What I want to make this work properly, I push it forward because I want the wrist to lock, I want the elbow to lock, and I want the shoulder to lock. I know I have that if when I push, if his body moves away from me, because it's one straight line and I can control him. I'm pushing him. I can hit him with his own shoulder in the face if I need to. So that lets me know that I have that lock properly done. He grabs again. This isn't the attack. This is just a hold. So this one may just come up to monitor. while I shoot in with some kind of attack of my own. I can sink my weight by bending my knees to get him to lose his balance. So again, his head's along above his butt. Then I just twist my body. Now I have that lock. I can do mean, horrible things like hit triple arm 11 to break that arm. Get that two-way action where I pull up here and I push down here. I can attack gallbladder 31 in the thigh just for a nice easy takedown. So there's lots of things we can do once we get them here. Again, these are just the basic techniques of how we set up for other attacks. So one more time, we'll just go one more time slow. Again, I can push away. Maybe I monitor and I just throw a kick in. Maybe spleen 6, BAR. I drop my weight to get him to lose his balance, and then I'm going to just twist right here to get that lock. We'll bring in the big guy. We'll show some nasty things. Don't need a head guard this time. So he's going to grab. Again, this isn't the attack, so I'm going to maybe hit the throat, BAR, kick in spleen 6. Once I twist this, I can use my knee right up here in the arm for the takedown. Just break that arm that way. If he grabs, again, I hit the eyes, maybe hit the throat. If I can't BAR, I can at least spear him in the eyes or face, to get his attention away. I can pull him offline and twist here. I come and knee that in gallbladder 31. It's going to make it really hard for him to chase me when his leg is dead and numb. So there's all kinds of mean things we can do, you guys. There's all kinds of mean things that we can do once we get those locks in. So we'll do one more. He comes in. Boom. First thing I want to do is grab, hit, sink my weight, get this in here. I can then start using balance points for takedowns. I just stay down there. I'd be mean to you, do it again. I can come in here, use stomach 4, keep that there. I can wrap this arm around my knee, break his arm this way. So once you get that basic lockdown, there's so many neat things that we can do. But just play around with the basics, get the basics down, and then start having fun at it, whatever it is that you guys like to do. Thank you. The next technique that we're going to look at is called Onikudaki. Get Sensei Ryan back in here. He's going to grab again. We're going to do all these, when we're first learning, we're going to do them from a grab. What I'm going to do, instead of monitor on the outside, I'm just going to sneak my hand over here on the inside. I'm going to fall off line, and hopefully if he has a good hold of me, that's what happens. I pull him right along, he's starting to lose his balance. This hand is going to sneak right here, and I want his elbow right here where my elbow is. I'm going to push away a little bit, away from him, so I start to get the arm lock. Once it does, it's no effort at all to make my palms touch. What makes this work is I want the elbow higher than the shoulder. So as soon as I pull, I know I've got it locked. And then we can do all kinds of mean things from there. Over time he grabs, I'm going to just fall off line here. I put his elbow where mine is. What I do is I look away. And then as I rotate my hands, I turn back to facing. So that way my whole body is controlling this arm, as opposed to just arm strength. And then I just bring the elbow higher than the shoulder. I get it locked. If I want to be mean, I kick the leg out, take him down. We'll show that now. Thank you, Sensei. We'll bring in our big mean attacker again. He's going to grab. Again, just to grab, I may need to BAR first, and then put him in Onikudaki. Do the takedown. It's important that when you do this takedown, while you're training, let go. As soon as I know he's losing his balance, he's going to fall, I let go because I don't want to pull that shoulder out of the socket. So over time he comes in, he grabs. Maybe this time I just go punch in low, because now I have his attention out here. Then again, it's no effort to lock this in. I can be mean to just hold it with one hand. Once it's locked, go ahead and pull your arm. Yeah, I mean, so big strong guy, there's, yeah. So, no effort once it's properly locked. If they can fight out of it, you might not have the shoulder, or the elbow higher than the shoulder, it might not be high enough. But again, once it's locked, it's really super easy. He grabs, throw my kick in, throw a strike, I can hit here, I can bend that, I twist, kick him while he's down because he attacked me, that's kind of what he gets. We'll just start from there, just give you guys some ideas of how to make it work. The next technique we're going to look at in the Kihon is going to be Home Gyaku. which is going to be almost like Orgyaku, but I'm going to stop halfway. It's going to look like this. As he grabs, again, just basically without all the nasty little extras, I'm going to reach across, just like I was doing for Orgyaku. But instead, I'm going to stop once the pinky's up in there. What I want is the hand to be flat this way, with the pinky in the air. Then all I'm going to do is make his pinky touch his shoulder, and the lock goes right in. There's a ton of ways to make this horrible. If you have any of my player videos or Russell Stupid's player videos, you'll know all the nasty little tricks to make this horrible. So this much effort, and I'm already getting him to jerk over really easy. So one more time he grabs. Again, I can do any of my mean stuff to distract. Come in here, I stop once the pinky's in the air, and then I'm just going to touch. Almost squeeze my hands together. What's important is, if you just turn your hand back this way, what I want to do is make sure I touch this point here, and then the opposite right here where the wrist is at. All I do is I make sure my pinky's there, my thumb is where that knuckle is, where the trigger point is, we call it, and I just squeeze them together. So that much, even with just one hand, I can already get him to start to lean over, break that wrist with almost no effort. So now we're going to bring in the big guy, show a few ways to make it horrible. So he's going to grab. Again, I hit that throat, hit the eyes. I come in here, heavy hand that arm down to make that arm really sore. I'm going to turn it here. Now, right now his arm is straight, so he's really strong. So I'm going to just strike it and step in, put a bend in it. Then when I squeeze it, he's going to go right down because it's horrible. Another thing that's going to make this work really well for me. Again, I'll be nice with those. Hit in here. I'm going to step off at this weird angle so that I'm not squared off with him anymore. So now, even though his arm's straight, there's no strength in it because I'm clear out here on the side. All your strength is always in the center line of your body. So in order to take his strength away, I'm just going to step out here. I do the lock and he goes right over because of the pain. I put that bend in there. I can turn the hand at a weird angle and I can stick it in and it's even better. So there's other different ways to make it even worse than that, but just play around with that, get that part down, and then check out some of our videos on flares and you'll see how to make it just devastating. You good? Okay, we'll come back in a sec. We'll look at the next. Yes. You ready?
No.
Okay, in our Kihon, the next thing we're going to look at is called Chino Kata. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start in Shizen because, again, I don't want my attackers to know that I know anything. I'm going to fall off line at 45. I'm going to strike the incoming punch. With the same hand, I'm going to rock forward, put another strike in. From there, I can use my hand for another third strike, maybe do an Orashoot do. Or I can use the back hand. I don't care which you guys do. Either way is going to work, and we'll practice both ways. So if I get Sensei back in here, as he punches, I'm going to just fall off line, strike that, rock in with another strike. And if I need to, right in stomach 4, stomach 5, wherever it's going to take for that easy knockout. Gallbladder 12, 20. It's really not going to matter. It's going to be horrible for the poor guy attacking you. One more time he comes in, boom, here, and then boom, right in there. Or the variation is to use the right hand. So he comes in, I strike here, and if I need to, I come in with the opposite hand. If that, maybe I generate more power that way. We'll get our big attacker in here. Yeah, you don't need that. That's not going to help. He's going to throw his punch. I'm going to soft block it out of the way, strike it here, and then I'm going to give him a nice chop to that side. Are you good? Mm-hmm. There's his punch. Boom. Hit him here, and maybe come in and hit on the other side. Are you good? Yeah. So, give you an idea how quickly it works. And is it effective, Josh? I mean, in your opinion, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. We'll move on to the next one here in a minute. Jason Widget, the next technique we're going to do in our Kihon Hoppo is Mushidori. We're going to do it again from a grab. So Sensei comes here. He's going to grab the chest, he's going to grab the tricep. Because he's trying to control me, he's going to headbutt me and kick me because he's already taken both his other weapons away. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fall off line here. Boom. I'm going to then bring my arm up over top and shoot in. I'm just going to scoop this arm and keep this again. I'm going to want this elbow higher than the shoulder. I can use this hand to help. I can kick the legs out for a nice easy takedown from there. all kinds of mean horrible things that we can do. But again, just the basics is, as soon as he grabs, I need to fall flying, take his bounce. I'm going to scoop. Then again, take a kick. All kinds of mean things that I can do from there. So that's the basics, really easy. One more time we'll go slow. He grabs, this hand just kind of monitors. I really don't want to be feisty, I just want to get out of the way. As I see him, he leans over. This hand shoots up. I almost point down with my elbow. I bring my elbow straight down. A lot of guys, they just try to start wrapping, and what happens is this arm will stay straight. I won't get the bend in it that I need. So I push straight down with my elbow. I sink my knees. I let my knees sink. That way, the elbow bends, and then I just stand right back up. We'll get the big guy in here. We'll look at some variations. So as soon as he has me, boom, I got to do something. So I'm going to hit that throat, hit the eyes, maybe BAR, pull him offline. I'm going to shoot in here, get this lock. Now again, I can start hitting eyes, throat, push him on lung 2 to get him to spin away from me. And I can just take him down. I can do slams, I can start attacking the legs, all kinds of mean stuff. We'll do it from this side. He grabs. I'm going to fall offline, add in my own attacks. I'm going to come in here. Again, I'm going to push down with this elbow to force his arm to bend. Then I just stand up from there. From there, I can kick those legs out, take his bounce, use that head, break the arms, whatever you guys need to do from there. We'll come back in just a second, look at the next one. Thanks, Jason Widget. The next thing we're going to look at in our Kihon Hoppo is the Kihon Kata, and it's just like the Sui no Kata, or I'm sorry, just like in the Sanshin, when our guy comes in with his attack, he just commissions in. He's going to throw his punch. I'm going to fall offline. I'm going to hit this down, throw in my kick, and again finish with a shoot down, an elbow, something mean. So since you've seen it before, what we're going to do now is go ahead and put the head guard on our guy, our attacker, and I'll show you some mean ways for Hicho. You good?
No.
He's good. So, as he punches, I'm going to soft lock down. I'm going to kick. Maybe BAR, elbow if I need to. Whatever's going to take to just finish this guy off. Are you good? You good? Come this way, this way, this way, this way. Okay. This way. You good. So over time, he's going to throw his punch. Boom, we kick at the same time. Then do BAR from there. And then I can step up in the air, whatever I'm going to need to do from there. You can see how to make Hicho just devastating. Are you good? Am I lying? Okay. Yeah, I mean, you guys can see. We'll go back in a second. We'll look at the next one. The last one we're going to do in our Kihon is called Ganseki Nage. It's a forward shoulder throw, basically is what it is. Sensei. What we're going to do is, again, we're going to practice first of all from a grab, 2-hand grab. One on the chest, one on the tricep. Or it doesn't matter, trap's fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fall offline. Boom, again, I'm going to pull his bounce away. This time, instead of coming over top and scooping for Mushidori, I'm going to stay underneath. And I'm going to make sure his arm is between his head and my head. I'm going to take my hand right here. I can add in strikes, do mean things if I need to. But let's scooch over. Yeah, this way. So then all I'm going to do is take this hand and I'm going to point at my toes on the opposite side of my body for a nice easy takedown. So one more time, we'll just go slow. He comes in, I'm going to fall offline. I'm going to scoop up here, and then I'm just going to basically take my hand and bring it down to the toes on the opposite side of my body, and they'll always go down. I'll show you a couple ways to make it worse. I'm going to be nice about it, but just give you ideas. So when he grabs, again, hit, strike, in the throat or the eyes, my favorite. If you can't get BAR in, I would recommend always set up everything with BAR if you can. If you can't, eyes, throat, whatever's going to do to shock the body. Hook this arm. Now, if you'll just face this way for me. What I do with this hand is I'm going to actually put him in that Omote Gyaku that we practiced earlier. So now I'm attacking not just this shoulder joint, but also this hand. So I've already got him off balance with this hand, so it's even easier for me, just a little tiny movement to get him to go. Now again, for safety's sake, while we're practicing, and once I realize he's starting to lose his balance, he's going to go, I let go of him so he can do his proper break fall. But without the nasties, I come in here, I fall off line, I shoot, and I just push away, again, opposite side of my body for the nice easy takedown. We'll come on this side, he comes in with his grab. Again, if you can, BAR, definitely BAR. From there, one hand BAR, your hand naturally makes that circle, and it's really easy to get in your throat. We'll just stop from there. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks.